Everybody, Jay Klein, Photog Travels. So the latest project that I'm working on, as I am parked in my friend's driveway in Evansville, Indiana, is I am working on the bumper. So apparently not much was holding the bumper together. Let me turn the camera around so it's a little easier for me to hold it. There, that's much better. So how this works is there are these, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. There are these clips. Now these are like everything else with Winnebago. No offense, Winnebago, but seriously, everything is held together with epoxy. So here's an example. There's already two that have the epoxy has stayed. So basically, this gets glued underneath the plastic, and then you line it up above it. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. With a lip, and you slide the lip down, and it locks in place. And then it holds the piece there, because these are on, as you can hear, pretty tight. And then you climb underneath, and at all of these meeting points, that's where the metal meets the plastic, right there. You put more of that epoxy or glue on, and that's basically how the whole bumper stays on. So it's not really, and as you can see, it's in two pieces. So that is today's project. I noticed that it was loose and sagging, and then as soon as I started to give it a little pull, there's really nothing else holding it on, and it came right off. This is all the old dried up epoxy right here. And as you can see, it's the same, what is it called, Dynacor? Well, Dynacor is the maker. I forget what it's called, or Dicor. Anyhow, it's that same stuff that they use on the roof to seal up pretty much everything on the roof. So I happen to have a tube of that, so I will be using it. First thing I had to do was sand everything down, scrape off all of the old glue on there. I still got to do a little more sanding here, clean it up so that when it does go back together, it goes back together right. Also, as you can probably tell, possibly, a lot of the metal has gotten bent from people, I guess, backing into the bumper or whatever. So I've got to straighten. There, you can see it a little better. I've got to straighten a lot of that metal out. But I'm glad it's not raining today. It's been raining the last couple days here in Indiana. And hopefully I'll be able to get this project done. And yeah, lots of fun. This one's pretty bent. Got to fix that. Also like the wiring job. Don't know if that's factory wiring, but it looks like... oh, there you go. Sorry. The wiring jobs here. Yeah, that's up to code. So I don't know if that's the gentleman I bought it from or whether that's from the factory. Here's an indication. I don't understand this at all. So here's from the lights. Why they added an 1.5 inches and then coupled it again for another 1.5 inches. Different color, might I add, into there. Into the original wires. I don't know. I do know there are ants crawling all over the place. Anyhow, so that's today's project. It should be a whole lot of fun. And I've got about 3 hours of daylight left, so I will get on that. And again, this is a 2008 Itasca Navion 24J. And all in all, doing pretty good. You know, she's starting to show some signs of rust, but not much, considering I have driven through a good portion of the U.S. and part of Canada. But I've been smart enough to try not to go through the winter and salt on the road, so that if I ever do decide to sell her, she will not have any major rust issues and sell for a good price. And more importantly, while I own her, I should not have any rust problems. As you can see, the frame is in great shape, other than a little bit here and there showing signs of rust, and that's going to happen with a vehicle that's 11 years old almost. But yeah, so bumper will be done. I will try to film it in stages to show exactly what I'm doing, but pretty much told you exactly how it's going to work. It's essentially glue the clips, these clips on first onto the plastic lip of the bumper. Once those are dry, which doesn't take long, I'll then slide those in. Then I'll have to climb underneath and use a caulking gun with the die core and hit all of those points so that it glues to the rest of the bumper and holds it all on there nice and tight and looks good. So, Jay Klein Photog Travels, another RV adventure. So here we are the next day. We applied an epoxy to all of these little inserts, and it seems to be working good. If you're wondering what I used, I ended up using Gorilla Glue construction adhesive, the heavy duty kind, and that stuff really works well. As you can see, it's on there good. So sorry that I'm doing all this swinging around. So basically what I've done is I've grinded down as much as I could of the old glue to get it out of the way, the adhesive, and now I will grab my friend Jay to help me, and we are going to put these clips back into here where they grab on nice and tight. I'm going to put construction adhesive here and down there and down there and down there along the whole thing. Same thing on both sides, and hopefully when it's all said and done, the bumpers will go back on there nice and smooth. What they were doing essentially from the side is they were just kind of flapping and flapping down here. They weren't holding on right. Nothing was holding anymore. In many cases, there's supposed to be another piece of metal sticking out that connects to there. Metal is now just fallen off. That's the case with these two lips. See this one, it's sticking up. If you follow along, this next one, it's missing. Next one, it's missing. So, and then here we are, it's here, but it's a little bent. So, I have to bend that back. Yeah, as you can see, they're pretty flimsy. And then that one actually has all three, it has all three. So that side's a little better. So I'm going to do that, and in case you're wondering what I am using, I went searching on some of the Winnebago forums as to what Winnebago uses, some kind of a secret ingredient, a mixture of two. Somebody had suggested Loctite, and I'm trying to turn this. There we go, so we can see. They have this polyurethane Pro line. The one that they had suggested, I guess at the time, so this is 2 years ago, they only had 3 times stronger. This is 8 times stronger. It was about $8 for this tube, but I'd rather have it hold on nice and tight with all the miles I'm putting on this through the years. So next phase is to glue everything together and put it on, and that's that. And then the next project is I'm going to be I had that welded on, I'm going to cut that off, the bike rack. I'm going to put a different bike rack on there, and I'm going to, this is where the tire went, that bolt there and that bolt there. I'm going to now go from that bolt, and I'm going to extend the bolt out to here so that the tire can go up higher, so I can put the motorcycle on that without having to use the 12-inch extender to get it out far enough. That's on there right now. That's that one right there. To get it on there far enough, or close enough, so that it will not hit the tire, and if I put the tire up higher, I can get it closer, and therefore it'll handle the weight a little better, because it's pretty much at its capacity. It says right here in another spot that it can only hold vertically, so that's the weight that you're putting on it to lift it up or down, 350 pounds. The moped, the 150 that I got, is 200, it's like 260 pounds, and then this is another 60 pounds, so I'm already right at that limit. So with the extender on it, it just feels very flimsy. I feel like at some point one of these welds is going to crack. So if I can get it closer, I am good to go. So again, Jay Klein, Photog Travels. I guess the next part of this video, I will show you with the adhesive on, and then one part attached, and then I'll attach the other part, and then the next one will be the tire. So if you have any questions, please comment below in the video. I will try to get back to you as quick as possible. I'll also put links to where you can get this at Home Depot, as well as the Gorilla Glue, which I don't know where I got that, but you can pretty much get it anywhere. So we will see you shortly. So we're at the third and final phase. We got both sides on, got the epoxy on, got the adhesive on. Had a couple of issues. The brackets didn't line up perfectly because everything was all bent underneath, but we've now got this wedged on there holding it. We put some extra strong adhesive. The Gorilla Glue did not hold under that type of pressure, just an FYI. So I would not go with the Gorilla Glue in this circumstance. It's just definitely too much pressure. Underneath, holding it all together, and if you can see, we've got a couple C-clamps holding it, and I basically ran the adhesive like a bead of caulk against the seam as well as underneath it. And so we'll give this a few hours to cure, and maybe the rest of the day, and then later put the plate back on and see how everything lines up. But I'm much happier with how it looks now already.